So this is the west coast of Oahu. This is where we'll be coming today. The very tip of the wing is where Waianae is. That's where our hospital is. Right where the wing keeps dropping. I guess I'm gonna stop videotaping. Hope you guys didn't get dizzy because I did. So we just landed to Oahu, to the airport, and this is our first stop in our first clip of my video blog on what it's like to do what I do and live my life. So hoping to have some fun today, and I got some ideas with some really great people that I'll be working with, and we'll take it from there. Okay, see ya. Okay, so we're here in the parking lot. It's time for me to get on my vehicle and head out. Just wanted to, just make a financial difference between, working as a PA, living life, enjoying the world, doing all kinds of crazy fun stuff, versus being an MD and kind of being stuck in a 9-to-5 or a specialty. The PAs, we can get up and do anything. I was doing maxillary surgery 2 nights ago, and today I'll be doing ER medicine. But let's just look at some cars real quick. This is a nice Mercedes. It's an S-Series 550. But this is a kind of something you don't see all the time. This is Alfa Romero. There's a lot of doctors kind of are out here, but I just want you to know what I ride. I'm not bougie. I'm not trying to say that I'm all that, but this is how I roll. Chrome. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. I love my Vespa. It's a GTV 2016. Don't front, don't hate. This thing is worth more than that Harley over there. So, peace. I'll see you guys at work. I'll show you some video on the road.
Hello, who's that?
My daughter, Alma.
I see.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Okay. She's at school in Boston.
She can see me when I get here.
Oh, it's a one-way extreme. Yeah. This is Tiana.
No one's covering.
Tiana's PA.
Yep.
It's right there.
Oh.
And she also got her flu vaccination. I refuse to do that, but they're going to make me. Tiana, this is a video for Alma.
Okay.
It's for her school.
Okay.
And only one question.
Okay.
Why PA school versus medical school?
I was a little old coming out of college, and PA school was shorter. I also like the idea of being able to move around in different specialties. Emergency medicine was where I kind of grew up. I was an EMT first, kind of here now, but the idea of being able to move into some form of primary care field or surgery specialty, if that's where life leads me, that's why I'm a PA.
And do you like your PA career so far?
Oh, I love it. Love it.
What's the best part of your PA career?
You said it was only one question.
I know, this is kind of lead on question. What's the best thing about it?
Oh. Best thing about my PA career is the ability to make somebody's day. Sometimes, we're able to take care of people to the point where you're given a good compliment. Other times we're able to save somebody's life. And I think that's the beauty of working in any form of medicine. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Tom.
You're welcome.
Amazingly, your video skills are pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you have your own vlog? Is your
Not
family
yet.
Big on YouTube or something? Yeah,
Hey.
you see her family on a new Netflix video that's coming out from here. Yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Bye, honey. Okay, so I'm hoping that you can put all these clips together. We are now in the back office here at Waianae Coast Comprehensive. health center in Waianae, Hawaii, which is on Oahu. We have a brand new ER. It was just built actually last year. And we've only been here, I think, 9 months. So one of the cool things here was they knew that we were so far from the other hospitals, we're talking the major receiving centers, that what they wanted to do, and we've had problems in the past due to tsunamis, natural disasters. You heard about the bomb scare last year, that there was a missile coming from Korea, and Hawaii just went nuts. What they wanted to do was make it available so that they can keep providers on campus or available and give them an opportunity to kind of stay, either come in earlier before their shift, stay longer before their shift. So in case there is a natural disaster, a major trauma, they have a way to do it. So anyway, back here we have rooms. So we have doctor rooms. Don't know what that box is about, but I plan on making some jokes because this is the room for the doctors. That's going to be funny. So we have another terminal. This is my room, or for the PAs or mid-levels. And I'm going to get ready to get on shift and talk to you in a few minutes. So here we go. So as I mentioned, you asked me to kind of give you some insight about the difference between a physician and a physician assistant. Pretty simple to do. I'm going to explain that real quick, literally in less than 25 seconds. There's not a whole lot. There are some particular points that need to be understood, but the administration of medicine, the care for people, the working as a team, a clinical team, either in a department, a specialty, within the organization, or within a health services unit, there's not a whole lot. We do the same stuff that they do, and we do the stuff that sometimes they either don't want to do or that they think that we should be able to do for them. We understand as a physician assistant our level of care and our scope of practice. It can be wide and also can be very narrow. I know some physician assistants that work in emergency medicine doing fast track, and all they do is fast track. It's kind of like a glorified urgent care. They don't get any trauma training. They get no specialized upper ESI training with really sick or comorbid patients. But that's what they choose to do. A physician by themselves work autonomously in their specialty. If you do ER medicine as a physician, chances are you work in the ER room. If you do pediatrics, you work pediatrics autonomously. Some physicians can work in other departments or other specialties depending on whether or not the hospital guidelines allow them to do so. I know pediatricians that do adult internal medicine. I know family practice physicians that do ER medicine, but they're not specialized in that department. They learned the trade along the way, per se. So there's autonomous physicians. They do what they want and don't need any supervision. Physician assistants, we need to have a supervisor. To the point that virtually every state in the union requires that we have at least one of our charts signed or co-signed by a physician for every 5 or 10 patients that we see. So, and that's okay. We're not the pros, and we understand that, and we welcome that. The next thing is difference in schooling. Well, yeah, you know this. 4 years undergrad, 4 years medical school, then whatever your residency could be, and that could be anywhere from 3 to 7 years. Physician assistants, it's whatever you need just to get into the PA program. I got into a PA program with only a associate's degree. I did not have a 4-year degree. I also got into medical school with an associate's degree, so, you know, that's that too. I chose the PA route versus the medical school route because I was already older. I was in my second career or third career at the time. And I wanted to get in, get out, and get ahead as fast as possible. I also had a family.
If I didn't have a family and I was young, oh, I would have gone the medical school route to some degree. And I'll explain that later. The functions of the program or the schools that you're in, they're all the same. My opinion is get in, get out, start working. Your experience is going to speak volumes. Of course, if you graduate from a good program, that will help too because of the name and because that name's on your CV. But it doesn't necessarily say that you're any better or any worse than anyone else. I've seen some great docs come out of public medical school systems who were absolutely phenomenal. And then I've seen docs come out of, Brown, Yale, even Stanford. And even though they might have been book smart, I really wouldn't want them working on my horse. And that's the truth. Same thing for PA schools too, and PA students. I've seen some PA students or graduated PA students or PAs working in the field where I really question their medical integrity. But it happens everywhere, I guess. Schooling by itself is really as hard as it's going to be. Medical school's no joke. PA school's no joke. It's the same. When I was at Stanford, we went to school with the medical students the first and third years. So we took much of the same courses, much of the same lectures, and we kind of kept each other on our toes when it came to being ahead of the curve and knowing what was coming down the pipe before it hit us. So there was a lot of collaboration, a lot of communication between our medical students and our PA students at Stanford, which is a great program. But I will say this, the other difference that you'll have between a physician and a physician assistant, pay. I'll be honest. As a PA, I can make really good money. The internet just said something about $50 an hour. I don't believe that. I don't know any PA that's making $50 an hour. And it might have been just the average, but that ain't the truth. I make damn near double that and have been doing so for quite a long time. If you're looking at the PA route, don't worry about pay. You're going to be fine. You're going to make tons of money. You can make as much money as you want. I know PAs that are making cardiology money. Of course, they do specialized services such as dermatology, but they make wonderful livings. A physician is going to make the amount of money that they make because of the amount of time that butt's been in that seat, and that's the truth. And I believe that thoroughly. For any college student, you spend that much time in a seat at the end of your 4-year career, and it should have been 4 years if you're there, but at the end of your college career, that should equal out to a certain level of financial dividends. What is the financial reward after 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of medical school, plus 3 years of residency, or it could be a surgical residency, which is like 7 or 9 years. That's why surgeons make over $500,000 a year. That's why surgical cardiologists make over $500,000 a year. That amount of time in the seat equals a financial check. That's the truth. A PA can do the same thing, but we have to do it a little bit differently because most of our programs are pretty quick. 2 to 3 years at the most. You're in, you're out, you're actually working. Then the first couple of years, if you don't kill anyone, you continue working. That's a joke, don't kill anyone. But you're going to start getting more experience. The more experience you get, the more you get known. The more you get known, and the more confidence you get in your specialty, then you start to broaden. And that's the final point that I want to make, the difference between a PA and a physician. A physician, you're stuck in that career. Of course, you might be able to get into a good hospital that will allow a family practitioner doctor to work in emergency medicine, but I don't think they're going to allow a pediatrician who just sees coughs and colds and little ones, which they do great jobs, and it's a hard career. I could never do pediatrics, but they're not going to let a pediatric physician go do surgery if that's not her training. That's not his specialty. Same thing for us physician assistants. They're not going to let us just get up right off the bench and go right into surgery. But what they will do as an extension of them, as an extension of their services, they will train you how to do it and pay you to learn how to do it. A physician is going to be stuck in their career choice, their specialty choice. A PA, we're not stuck. We can do anything. And that's not a joke. In my short career, I've been placed in situations where I've learned how to do certain things, or I had to learn how to do certain things. My first job ever as a physician assistant was working on an Indian reservation in the middle of South Dakota. And my first day there, the clinical director comes to me and says, "Do you know how to deliver babies?" I said, "No." It was not part of my training unless it was an emergent delivery, which is pretty much you just sit there and catch. They said, "Well, at this facility, every provider needs to know how to deliver babies. It's not a problem. We'll teach you." I was freaking out because I took that job specifically knowing that I did not have to deliver babies. You know what they did? Brother Art had to deliver every kid for those first 2 weeks that I worked there. They beat the fear out of me. What I'm saying is that after doing that for so many times, delivering a child, as long as there's no complication, was pretty simple. And I became competent in doing so. And what did that do to me? That just upped my price, that upped my financial dividends. I wasn't a specialist in that department. They trained me in that department. Could I do it and do it confidently? Yes. I can do it as confident as just the other day, where I was asked by a physician that I'm working with tonight to come and help him because some guy got dropped off in the back of our ER, and they brought him into the trauma bay only to find out that he was shot. The doc I'm working with doesn't do trauma. He's an ER certified physician, but only has very limited trauma time. But for me, I came out of UCLA trauma. I did a fellowship in emergency medicine. I specialize pretty much in ballistics and cavitation wounds. He asked for my help. That actually was something that I enjoyed him doing. It showed a level of collegial behavior, understanding that he has somebody in the facility that is trained to do that, and he didn't care if I was a doctor or a PA. What that means to you is that in this career, there's so much freedom that you can become that type of specialist. You can become that confident and competent in that career. As a physician, you're pretty much stuck. Kinda, for the most part. Freedom, we get a lot of that. The docs, not so much. You get a whole bunch of docs, you put them in the room at the bar together. The first thing they start doing is talking about the hospital policy, guidelines, bylaws, what's going on, throughput, measurement outputs, insurance payouts, blah, 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 blah. You get the same amount of PAs, you put them in a room like that, you'll never hear that. You might hear a little bit, but you know what they're going to talk about? They're going to talk about where they went, what they did, what they bought, what they're looking at buying, where they're going to go, who they're going to go with, how much time they've taken off work, where they plan on going next, and what they plan on doing as their next career move. It's that reinvention of that we have. That's a huge difference in our career choice, especially in our own personal happiness. Of course, I know that docs make more money and they probably have more opportunities to do things, but the ones I've seen personally, it appears that the job does take a toll, and so does being a physician assistant. There's no joke with that. There's stress. I know this, but I guess we get to handle it a little bit better. The financial dividends are there for us, and we make a very good salary. Don't take a job for less than $140,000 a year when you come out, because by the time you guys come out, that should be where you're at. And that's pretty much it. I can't see if there's anything else. Quick note, docs, there's two forms. There's allopathic and osteopathic. Know the difference. It's also important to know the difference when you're dealing with them, because one might be more centerline medical approach. The other one might want to use alternative health healing methods, which are great in certain circumstances. but they also deal with patients differently too. Oh, last thing, and I couldn't record anyone doing this because we got busy, but I wanted to go around and ask some of the staff, which do you enjoy working with more, physicians or physician assistants? And don't take me in consideration. I couldn't do that, but I wanted to mention this. You'll find that there are higher GIPRA scores, which is a measurement tool used by the hospitals to measure their satisfaction scores of patients, when they compared physician assistants to physicians. There's something about how we practice medicine. Anyway, I hope this helps. This video is only 14 minutes now. I'm assuming that that's probably way too long anyway. But any questions, just shoot them out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And more importantly, and lastly, it's your choice. Just make sure whatever that choice is, it's a good fit. You're not doing this for the money ultimately. Of course, if they paid me $1 gazillion, I'd probably do whatever they said. But the reality is that you're really doing it for the love of science and medicine. For whatever you choose to do, make sure it's a good fit. At the end of the day, we are all doing the same stuff. Trying to keep people alive, get them healthy, so that they can enjoy their life. But don't forget to enjoy your life along the way. I'll see you guys.